Hello, everyone. Welcome or welcome back to Dirty Martini. I hope you're doing well and I hope you're having an amazing day. Guys, I am really putting my microphone through the thick of it this past 2 weeks. Last week with I don't remember what, but this week, right now, my housemate, bless her heart, she's really going through it with her thesis. Poor soul is now just blasting just some German songs and is yelling her heart out as she fucking should because no one like really speaks about how difficult it is to write a bachelor's thesis. And now, honestly, my master's thesis experience has not been really pleasant, but I don't dare say anything about it until I get my grade, until I'm evaluated, because I don't want this to me potentially speaking up to affect whether I graduate the way I want to or not. So, but there is something about writing a bachelor's thesis because that's your first thesis and you're really so like dropped in the middle of an ocean when all you've ever experienced in your life before that has been a sliver of a spit and you're like you're just told, "Yeah, swim." And you're like, hello, and you just start drowning and drowning and drowning until like you drown. So if you hear her music, don't you dare say a word. My girl is going through it. She has just a few days to submit, so let her be. Let her listen to her German songs as you and I talk about the all the nonsense I have to talk to you about today because I have so many things I want to touch upon, each more nonsensical than the previous one and all of them completely non-related. But before we begin, I would like to inform you of something extremely necessary for you to know to contextualize this episode. So, Little had some sort of a Greek week. And when they have a Greek week, I always go and buy grape leaf sagmi. If you don't know what sagma is, it's basically rice and some other filling stuffed in either a grape leaf or a cabbage leaf. And I buy the grape leaf ones because they're more luxurious, and they also don't sell the cabbage leaf ones because those are solely homemade. I've never seen someone sell cabbage sagmi ever. So I buy the grape ones because they're so difficult to make. Like they're just so nitpicky. I don't know if that's, I am not fully sure I understand what nitpicky means, but it feels the correct word to use right now. This is honestly how I've been writing my thesis. I'm like, I should be using terms and I should be using proper academic language, but also this word that I'm not entirely sure fits is what I'm going to use right now because contextually I've picked up that it really fits my sentence. So basically, I went and I bought sagmi. And I was eating sagmi, chilling after work because I've been working like crazy the past few weeks because your girl is broke. Because being in Bulgaria for a month does that to you because you cannot be earning Dutch salaries in Bulgaria. So I've been working my ass off, especially the last few days. And I really wanted to record yesterday, but yesterday I was tweaking so hard. I came home and I was like, cool, all I have the energy to do is scroll on TikTok. So that's what I did until I went to bed, which is disgusting. And today I came home 3 hours ago. My idea was to come home, rest for like 30 minutes, then record the podcast, rewrite my conclusion and discussion and limitations and managerial implications, edit the podcast, and then after 10, just be chilling. What have I been doing for the past 3 hours? Well, not none of that. Literally none of that. I've been postponing every single thing. I've been procrastinating like crazy. But hey, I ate sagmi. Now, why am I mentioning sagmi? In order for you to understand the context of this episode. Because um I Okay, I was eating in bed because I was too lazy to like, eat outside of bed. Um, and I finished my can of sugmi and I just put it on the ground next to my bed. And then I got up and I stepped on the can or like kicked it. I'm not sure exactly what happened. And all the sugmi sauce spilled all over my room. And today I was really looking into buying a specific air freshener for my room. And as much as I love Balkan cuisine, and as much as I think this is the most delicious cuisine that's ever existed and will ever exist, I don't want my room to smell like sugmi, you know? And I tried to clean it, but it's like, I feel like it's soaked into the floor. So now we'll see how long it takes me to remove the sugmi scent from my room. Because, like I am very specific when it comes to cleaning my room. I clean my room multiple times a week with like detergents and everything and like vacuuming and whatever. And I know you may be thinking, how dirty does it get that you need to clean it every single day? Well, first of all, I exist in a single room. This is my living room. This is my kitchen. Well, it's not my kitchen, but like this is my dining room. This is my bedroom. This is my office. This is my everything. So it does get messy, despite it being literally like what, 15 square meters. And this is me being generous because I genuinely don't know actually how big my room is, but it does get messy quite a bit. And despite me actually not being home ever throughout the day, so that is a bit surprising how it happens, but it does happen. And I just like, if I don't do anything the entire day, if all I do is exist and then I vacuum, I make myself feel productive. So sometimes I vacuum even if don't have the need to vacuum. So we'll see how it goes with the sugmi, but like it's burning my nostrils. And it's a lovely smell, don't get me wrong, but like I don't want everything I own, myself included, to smell like sugmi, you know? So we'll see how that goes. Maybe tomorrow I will drown everything in bleach and call it a day. We'll see. We'll see. Um, but yeah, guys, I am excited for today's episode because I at work had a 30-minute break, and in that break I took a sheet of paper and I wrote actually 4 sheets of paper, front and back, as Ross from Friends would say. And I wrote everything with ideas and structures of how I want the episode to flow. I am utilizing none of that. I All of the ideas I had, quite cool ideas, I would say. One of them was the cancel culture episode that I have been promising you since maybe the first or second week of um the podcast. But that's okay. It's coming. It's coming. Eventually it will come. Considering that I'm writing my thesis on cancel culture, I will explain what cancel culture can be understood as. Don't worry. But now I just want to yap for a little bit. I just want to say that currently there are people at the very first opening night. I mean, there's just single opening night of the Harry Styles Together tour. And I don't want to be a jealous person, but I am. I am. Y'all know how much I talked shit about like him like uh, increasing the prices and like charging crazy amount of money for a ticket. Yeah, if I get something more affordable, I'll go. Just like the rant is still very much justified, but if I can find something affordable, you better believe I will be first in line. So to those people who are at the Harry Styles concert, may God protect you from my jealousy, and may all of you have so much fun and an unforgettable time, and may all of you stay safe, and may NS never betray you the way it betrayed me after the Harry Styles concert and forcing me to sleep at the floor on the floor at Schiphol after sleeping on the floor of Zigadome. Which, if you want to hear about my Harry Styles experience, it is episode 3 of this podcast. My back is killing me, my back is itching, everything about my back. being in your 20s is so fun. Um, yeah, the other thing I want to address, well, by the time you guys actually see this episode, like it's going to be over because the finale is today. I want to quickly mention something about Eurovision. I am boycotting Eurovision. I am not watching Eurovision. The reason I am boycotting Eurovision is because I just don't think they should be giving a platform to someone who commits a genocide. Um, and that's why I really respect Spain and Ireland, and I believe the Netherlands. And the Netherlands is extremely surprising to me because universities are very much complicit and have not cut ties with Israeli educational, you know, institutions. But yeah, so I really respect those countries for boycotting Eurovision, not participating, being like, if this genocider is there, you won't see me there. I really, really respect this. Um, Bulgaria is participating. This is the first time Bulgaria is participating in years. And this is not me coming on here to be like, oh, like, blah, 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 blah. What was the point of that sentence? I don't know. I really like Daga. Don't get me wrong. Like with me now criticizing Bulgaria's participation in Eurovision, this is not targeted towards Daga. I really, really like Daga. I have liked Daga ever since X Factor. I think she has an amazing stage presence. I think she's so incredibly charismatic, so incredibly talented, and just a joy to look at when she performs. So I wish her all the success. Now, what is the point of me saying this when, like, even when you see it, it's not going to be valid anymore? But I am just hoping, praying, manifesting that we don't let Israel win Eurovision. Please, kind of, it wouldn't be the vibe, you know? Like, I know Europe tends to send strong worded messages. Um, yeah. Anyways, good luck to Daga. I'm still boycotting Eurovision, but I love Daga. I really love Daga. People's opinions on bangaranga and the typical Bulgarians' dismissal and hatred towards anything that's more progressive and anything that's fun and out there is not something I'm really willing to discuss right now because I will get mad and I don't have it in me to be mad. It's just like I don't want a country committing genocide to be platformed for everyone to celebrate. Hot take. I know, hot take. Don't give me the treatment you've been giving Billie Eilish, okay? Anyways, guys, let me tell you about what happened after last week's episode. Literally, the reason I shut off the episode was not only because I was rushing, because I had to get ready for the concert, but also because my landlords arrived. And the reason my landlords arrived is because we've been having mice. Now, I don't want to talk about a hantavirus, because I don't think I am educated enough. I don't feel knowledgeable enough to comment on this. There's more knowledgeable people. There's proper sources like the World Health Organization that you should follow for um, timely information on the virus and its spreading, and hopefully its containment, if that's a word, and prevention from further spreading. I really hope um, everyone who's contracted has contacted the virus is safe, quarantines, and does not actually get sick. Um, but that's for the doctors. Thank you to the doctors for the care. Basically, I called the landlords because I was like, hey, the mice are back. And, um, I kind of don't want the plague, you know? So can you actually finally do something? Because I've been talking about this to you for 4 years now, ever since I moved in here. And this is not about like you claiming we are not clean. We are very much a clean household and we keep the kitchen spotless. Uh, it's a structural issue, because none of the cupboards in the kitchen have like their backs, like a back plank, and they're just facing the wall, and that wall has holes in it. So the mice are just simply promenading all around my house. And that is just really, really not the vibe. So I was like, this is a structural issue. We have holes in the walls, we have holes in the ceiling. Could you please do something about this? Because they carry a lot of diseases and it's really not nice. And it's not our fault because nothing's been helping against those mice. And I personally refuse to put a trap like those that are like from the movies, because if I walk out in the middle of the night to grab a snack, and the way I've been eating, if I eat at 3 a.m. will be my breakfast, because just my thing, like my eating. Why can I not speak today? That's so exciting, considering that all of this existence of the podcast, this entire platform is based on me speaking. Um. Anyways, so if I walk out in the middle of the night to go grab something, and I see a dead mouse in the middle of the room, everyone will know, because I will scream and my problem will become everyone's problem. And I just refuse to touch a mouse's corpse. So they come here and they're like giggling, yada 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 yada. We have a language barrier a bit, so I try to speak to them in Dutch. They, for whatever reason, insist on speaking to me in English, which is fine. I don't really care. Like, for me, English is preferable, but I am trying to speak in Dutch to you because Dutch is the language you understand. And you're trying to speak in English to me without really knowing what the words mean. So, which I appreciate. I appreciate the effort. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. This is not me trying to be like, oh, the entitled international, like you're in their house and you're in their country. Don't get me wrong. It's just like I am trying to speak our own native language. Doesn't matter. So we somehow establish some sort of a communication, and they tell us that they are going to put poison in our kitchen. Now the thing is, the poison and the traps that they want to put is, because I've been the outspoken one when it comes to the mice problem, and how mice have literally been nibbling on my food and have been shitting in my drawer where I keep my food. And they were like, yeah, so we got you poison, and proceed to put a plate of poison, and mind you, like a plate this big, like my two, what is this thing called, palms, like my two palms, that amount of poison, proceed to put it in my drawer. And I'm like, pause that. Did I just, was I just about to quote Nicki Minaj in the big year of 2026? No, 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 not tolerated here. Anyways, um, so I'm like, pause, because this is where I keep my food, and you want to put poison next to my food. Is that so? And I'm like, what if this poison gets in my food? What if a mouse eats the poison, gets in my food, eats from my food after it's eaten from the poison, and I poison myself? And they're like, that's really not nice, is it? And I'm like, yeah, no shit, it's not nice. Which is why I don't want you to do it. Um, and they're like, yeah, but it doesn't smell. I'm like, girl, it is not about the smell of the poison only. It is not only about the smell of the potential dead rodent. It is about the poison. It is about me poisoning myself without really wanting to, you know? They're like, yeah, okay. I know it's not nice for it to be next to your food, but like, what can we do? And I'm like, fill in the holes, put a bag in my drawer so that the holes are not directly leading to my drawer. They're like, but that's going to cost money. A moment of silence. A moment of silence for Dutch landlords who refuse to upkeep their houses because it's going to cost them money, not realizing that in the long term, not investing and upkeeping your house costs you way more money. Just, and then they just take out the poison because I refuse to let poison next to my salt. Like, hello? How is that okay? How how did you even think of that? And then they take out the poison and they put it under my drawer. I'm like, that's and mind you, they put three types of poison in the span of a meter because this is how big my kitchen is. My kitchen is basically, if I lay down, I am as long as my kitchen. Um, and when you read on the instructions of those poisons, they're really not supposed to be that close to each other in that confined of a space. So we all started getting migraines because we were inhaling all of that, and that was really not cute. Um, and then basically I'm like, okay, so what is the solution? Like the long-term solution? They're like, poison. I'm like, what if that mouse eats poison and dies? Because the mouse eats, first of all, technically, you're not too supposed to use poison to kill rodents here anymore. You're supposed to use, first of all, the live traps. You shouldn't kill the thing, the being. Um, so we're trying to skip the fact that they're trying to do this because they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit because it's not in the house that they live in. So I'm like, basically, the rodent eats the poison, but it doesn't die immediately. It takes 3 to 4 days for it to die. Now, where it goes in those 3 to 4 days, where it's going to die, nobody knows. And I'm like, well, what if it dies in the wall? What if it dies in a pipe and my water goes through there and it poisons my water? Like, those are genuinely people who do not think, or they don't care enough to think because it does not directly concern them. And I remember last year when I was again fed up with the mice, I called the branch of the government which deals with landlords and renters and whatever. And they told me, well, this sounds like a structural issue and it is their responsibility to fix the issue and it shouldn't be on you, which is why we can send them in like in a very European fashion a strong worded letter warning them that this is not okay, and until they fix the issue, your rent is going to be decreased. But the reason, and that sounds all great, right? But the reason I decided to not proceed with an official warning through a letter is because they could not guarantee me that the landlords are not going to kick me out. And in today's market, housing market, there's, considering the price and the location of my place, people would kill to be here. People would sleep with the mice if that is what's granting them the roof over their heads. So I decided not to proceed with that because I just could not be guaranteed that I will still have a home after that. So yeah, we basically had to suck it up, and everything's in boxes. Everything is in boxes in the kitchen. Um, and then they just, Jesus Christ, did someone just like disassemble the street? What's going on? Whatever. Um, what was I saying? Oh yeah. And then they're just like, first of all, well, first of all, I say at the end of in the concluding stage of the story. You know how once when I was telling you a story about my landlords, I told you when they were painting the pipes, because of course you paint pipes instead of fixing holes where mice go through, so that you can say that you've upkept the house. Um, I told you that I am the longest, like the person from the current setup of housemates who's lived here the longest. I am the OG. And I have been here for 4 years. And my landlords don't know my name. And my landlords don't know what I look like. And you may think I'm kidding. But like just now, when we were having that conversation about the mouse, my landlord goes up to me. He's like, "What is your name? Okay, are you new?" I'm like, "Oh, that's so incredibly disrespectful. That is so incredibly disrespectful." Because what the hell? What the hell? Oh my gosh, I just found a bruise. I wake up with the most random, I mean, they're not really random. I hit myself constantly in places, especially when I was at work the other week. And when I'm opening up the store and I'm prepping up all the meats and the vegetables and the produce that we're going to use for the day, and I'm just by myself, I just, like play some bangaranga and dance. And I hit myself so incredibly bad last week in my triceps. It was like, it looked concerning. And I only saw it like a few days later because I was like, why does it hurt? And I was like, oh, that's why. And thankfully, because I talked to my boss, she had not seen it on the cameras because that was a very vulnerable moment of me like just dancing, 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 hitting myself, grabbing my triceps and standing like this for 2 minutes because I was in that much pain. Anyways, so the landlord, after, he is saying nice to meet you for the I don't know what time, um then proceeds to tell me, yeah, I also would not like it if it was in my house. I know it's not pleasant. Okay, have a nice day. I was like, that's it? That is it? That's all you're going to say? That's all you're going to do? How disappointing. Thank God I pay rent, and thank God you're increasing my rent and me getting nothing in return. Anyway, so that was my mouse story of the week. So then I went to the concert. The concert, like I mentioned last week, was in Eindhoven, and it was a concert of a Bulgarian artist. And now I have not been to a concert in a long time. She said after having been to a concert in October or November. That's not necessarily, like a long, long time. It's it's okay. It's okay. Was Role Model my last concert? I think so. I believe so. Yeah. So I go to the concert. The trip like is taking forever. I did not travel that far when I went to see Harry Styles. So Crisco better appreciate it. Better appreciate my dedication to support the local talent. Because hello, but honestly, I went in there without really a lot of, I mean, I had expectations, but by the time I arrived at the hall 4 hours later, I was just done and I wanted to go home. And I no longer had any expectations. And I kind of went in like, "Ugh, now I have to start, like, and now it's just now starting, and I now have to go to the concert and then I have to travel, and it's just terrible." I have never had that much fun at a concert. I had the best time of my life there. First of all, let me walk you through all of the stages. We start queuing outside. The queues are very efficient, very fast. Cause like we're Bulgarians, we're like people like directly going to the matter. Uh, don't base your opinions of the efficiency of Bulgarians on the way I tell stories because I take many routes and reroutes and like shortcuts that turn into long, like I tell, basically the story of this podcast is short story long. And I think that's beautiful. And I think this is what makes Dirty Martini unique and mine. So we start queuing. The queue is going like super fast. It was like hundreds of people in the queue by the time I arrived, and I was inside for 5 to 7 minutes, and it was such a mind-boggling experience to be in the Netherlands and be speaking in Bulgarian and be surrounded by Bulgarians, be approached in Bulgarian. That was so incredibly odd. The cognitive dissonance that I experienced is something I will struggle to verbalize to you if you've never experienced it. Like this, because the thing is, like, I every now and then I talk to a Bulgarian here in Bulgarian, but like it has never happened to me on that scale. So we go inside. My friends leave their stuff in the locker. I did not leave mine in the locker. I held my bag, my small bag, because they don't allow big bags in a venue. And by big, I mean larger than an A4 sheet of paper size, which I guess it makes sense from a safety point of view. But also, guys, do you know how much I traveled, and the fact that I'm not allowed to get water inside, and the fact that I'm not allowed to get my bag in which I have a jacket in case it gets cold at 2 a.m.? Like, kind of not the vibe. So you basically go just like this, the way I am right now. Which fine, whatever. But also the lockers were very small, so they wouldn't have fit my bag. So I'm carrying my small bag. Like we go inside. I am having a bit of a tough time at first to ease into it because I'm so anxious because I'm surrounded by so many Bulgarians in the Netherlands, which is such a strange and unfamiliar environment. And we go inside with my friends, and here's the thing, I don't really drink alcohol. I've talked to you about this many times. I stopped drinking the second it became legal for me because this is a standard Balkan procedure. But the thing is, I don't think I need alcohol to have fun. Actually, I know I don't need alcohol to have fun because I'm always the designated driver of the group and I always have so much fun. And as the designated driver of the group, I never drink. But in situations like these, and this is, please, this, don't perceive this as me advising you to drink alcohol or take any substances in order to ease into a socially anxious or a socially challenging situation. That is not the solution. That is not the solution. You should not become dependent on alcohol in order to be able to be social or to be extroverted. No, you should put yourself through it sober so that you know you can do it, and to realize that no one really cares and that alcohol is really not that crazy, and it's not that, like, it shouldn't be the defining and the turning point of your night. However, again, do as I say, not as I do. I was very, very anxious. So 2 gin tonics later, I was no longer anxious. Because the thing is, I wasn't even drunk. I wasn't even tipsy. That thing was more ice than tonic, and don't even, like, it was a single droplet of gin. Don't like, and for 14 euros. Okay, yeah, yeah. Um, but basically, I think just the idea of it all, of that it is, oh, I am drinking alcohol, I'm becoming looser, I'm becoming like smoother or whatever, which is not the case. That helped me ease myself from the social anxiety chains which I imposed on myself. um I really just started dancing, I started singing, I had so much fun. I no longer perceived it as everyone is here to see me and everyone is staring at me and everyone is noticing that I have sweated and everyone's seeing that my hair, even though I washed it, does not look good. Babe, no one is at the concert to see you. Everyone is at the concert to see the performer. And actually, the way I realized this was And this is also one of the big reasons, actually. I don't really go to the gym here. I mean, apart from price, um, because I am scared of people looking at me when I'm in a vulnerable state. And I don't know why I perceive becoming stronger a vulnerable state, but whatever. That's a problem that we can dissect another time. Basically, I used to go to this, I mean, hit Zumba, Pilates, aerobics class in my hometown when I was younger. And when I was younger, like a teenager in high school, I really had this thing of everyone here is staring at me and everyone cares. Um, and I shared this with the trainer because she was also a friend. And she was like, babe, I'm so sorry to, you know, break break it to you, but no one is there to see you. Everyone is there to see me. I was like, wait, you're so incredibly right. People are not paying that amount of money to look at some random girl working out or look at some random girl dancing or random girl singing a song at a concert, which is what you're supposed to do. So that really helped me ease my mind when I was working out in that class. And now, unfortunately, it was the alcohol that helped me release myself from those chains because I didn't like what really helped me overcome this fear of being perceived was when I started socializing by myself. And I've talked about socializing by myself and all the benefits it has done to me. Um, but I at this stage I was not socializing by myself. And I don't know if I would have been as, groovy and dancey and sing songy if I was by myself. I really don't know because the vibe of a Crisco, why did I say Crisco? The vibe of a Crisco concert is way different from the vibe of a Kendrick Lamar concert, a Harry Styles concert, what I assume is an Ariana Grande concert. Because it's such a small, much like smaller scale wise as a concert, it's easy for people to perceive you because ratio, Um, anyways, so I was just dancing and having so much fun, and it felt like I was young again, said the 24-year-old who is plagued by the concept of aging and perceives herself as a grandma because this is what her joints tell her. And why she's speaking about herself in the third person, I don't know, but it's kind of not cool, so she should stop her, okay? Okay. Um, yeah, I have, because the thing is, I'm not a very big clubbing person anymore. But the last time I saw this artist was when I went clubbing in my hometown, and it brought me back to just like, being younger and like dancing, and it was such a vibe because if there's one thing Bulgarians know how to do apart from complaining is how to party. We just know how to have fun, and that's what actually, even though I was anxious to be in a room with Bulgarians, is why I actually was happy to be experiencing this with a lot of I mean, like, not the Dutch people or any internationals would go to see Kagisko. Although who knows, maybe he's a global like rap star. Um yeah, because I knew that even if I shook ass, which is what I went there to do, no one would bat an eye because everybody shakes ass because this is what Bulgarians do at a party. Because this was a party. Why am I acting today as if as if English as if I'm high or on any substances? No, divas. I have never been high and I've never taken any substances. I'm just incredibly sleep deprived. And that is because of the concert. Because you're getting older when? uh one night of going late to bed ruins your entire sleep schedule for weeks to come. I That concert was exactly a week ago. I still cannot recover. I'm going to tell you about my coming home thing, because this is like the whole reason I started telling the story, because my coming home after the concert was definitely podcast worthy. But I came home at 3, and I went to bed at 4:30, because despite all of this, I did all my skincare, and just I'm so incredibly proud of myself despite not having done my skincare in 2 days. But back then I did it even though it was 3 a.m. and I went to bed at 4:30. And since then, if I go to bed before 3, I consider myself lucky. And I go to bed at 3, very much having to wake up early the day after because I have work. So it's really not like I've been on 4 hours of sleep every single day since Saturday. And that's why I'm so incredibly excited for tomorrow, Sunday, which is when I will finally have the chance to sleep a little bit more. Because today I had to wake up early for work, but I woke up in the most pleasant way a person can wake up. I forgot to put my drapes. Um, if you've been to the Netherlands, you may have noticed that people pulling their drapes here is not really a thing. And like you can literally look into people's windows and be like, oh, now we're all watching TV. Yeah. I don't have that. I am always pulling my drapes and everything. Um but I just forgot yesterday. I think I was just so exhausted. I could not be bothered to get out of bed to pull my drapes. And when I woke up in the morning, because you know how I told you last week I had to reconstruct my whole, like reassemble my entire room and everything is now in a different space. Now the sun directly in my eyes. And I mean directly, like the first ray of sun is here. Here. And this is how I woke up today. I woke up 2 hours before my alarm, before my 7:30 alarm, having gone to bed at 2. And so technically I took a nap. I didn't sleep, I took a nap. That's fun. That's exciting. Um and but that felt so peaceful. Those 3 hours waking up like this, I felt reborn. Then I went back to, like, it took me an hour, but I went back to sleep for 30 minutes. And then I was like just postponing my alarm, snoozing, 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 snoozing until I was running late for work. But yeah. And just like this is the best way to wake up because it's so peaceful, it's so natural. You're woken up by the sun of the new day and the songs of the birds outside, and you feel like one with nature. And it's just like God intended, you know? And in moments like these, when I wake up, because now basically my room layout, or at least the bed, is facing the way my bed is back home. So sometimes when I lay down and, like, let's say I wake up, I'm like, am I in Bulgaria? Like, what's going on? And sometimes there's certain smells, like, for example, a specific smell of rain, but not every rain smell, a specific rain. It has happened to me once. I was sleeping on the floor. I was sleeping on the floor because after working out, there's nothing better than sleeping on the floor, like taking a power nap on your yoga mat. Best recovery. So I was sleeping on the floor, and there was just like pouring rain and the smell of freshly cut grass, but also freshness and nature and birds chirping. And I woke up and I thought I was in my village, like my grandparents' village, and I was a child. And now when I wake up and my bed is the way it is, sometimes I wake up and I'm like, wait, where am I? And the thing is, it's what's really interesting for me when I wake up in moments like these is that every single time I wake up and I think I'm in Bulgaria, or I think I'm in like my grandparents' house, I always am like, wait, did those past 5 years like happen? I always wake up and I think I'm 15 or 16, and that everything that has happened since I was 15 or 16 until now was just a long ass dream. And I just wake up and I'm 16 again. And it's one of my favorite ways to wake up because it's just so, I don't know, it's so nice. It feels so homey, it feels so cozy, and then it hits me, oh no, you actually experienced those five years, which is good, not all the time. Why did I say five when I was talking about six? Guys, have you really, how do I explain to you that COVID really messed up my perception of time? Because 5 years ago, I was not 16. 5 years ago, I was 19. 5 years ago, I was already living here. I was 16, 8 years ago. A moment of silence. A moment of silence. We by so fast. Oh my gosh. Quarter life crisis. Anyways, I wanted to quickly tell you about my experience coming back from that concert because that is something that's been pissing me off so incredibly much. So the concert ended a little bit earlier than expected because it just ended up being like starting earlier than expected. And can I just say I did not expect to listen to Saint Tropez by Aziz uh, in Eindhoven ever and shake ass with 1,000 people. But that happened, and I never expected to play Bravo accompanied by Biała Rosa in Eindhoven with with a hard like English with 1,000 Bulgarians. But that happened, and I never expected those things to happen at a Crisco concert, and I never expected to be singing Latna Żółta Rokla by Veselin Marinov at a Crisco concert in Eindhoven. But here we are. And that was the most fun I have ever had. And I'm so incredibly happy I went there. And no, he did not bring out my favorite Bulgarian rapper, aka Atanas Kolev. And yes, you can judge me that Atanas Kolev is my favorite. I don't give a shit. Um, Shout out Nasco. Shout out Nasco. Like, if you know, you know. Listen to his entire album. Don't just listen to the songs that became mainstream. Listen to Egoist. Listen to Otnachawo. Listen to Stranisam. Listen to I'm So Good. Those are such good songs. Anyways, so I'm rushing, like running, and I mean running to be able to catch the train because there was the second to last train and the last train. Well, this is how second to last works. And I'm trying to catch the second to last because knowing my luck, I was like, if something happens, I want to have another safe option if that last train takes place to, be able to go home. So I sprint to the train station. I get on there. I get on the train, and because I had to pee in the train toilet. Yeah, yeah. A moment of peace. I feel like this is just like a moment of silence type of episode. Uh, Jesus Christ, what am I doing today? Oh my gosh. You see, you see what 20 hours of sleep for a total for a week due to a woman? You see? While she's writing her thesis and working full time, you see? As she's again speaking about herself in the third person? What is wrong with her? What is wrong with her? Is she okay? I don't know if she's okay. But she really wants to go to buy chocolate despite not really wanting to eat as much sugar because she's been breaking out and she's been really suffering with her sugar addiction. Enough with the third person, okay? So I am on the train and I find a place to sit, and at one of the stops this group of 40-year-old men embark on the train, and they are shit faced. And I mean, I don't know how they were not blacked out. They were just so, like, they would speak, but like so unintelligibly, and they would just yell, dance, scream. You're 40 fucking years old. And I'm not saying that like at 40 your life should stop and you should stop getting drunk and stop having fun with your friends, but you should be mindful of the people around you. Because this is fucking embarrassing. But you're a fucking man who's never had to be empathetic and has never had to be taught of how to be considerate because everything's been served to you on a silver platter. Fucking bitches. Anyways, so they start yelling, they start screaming, they start dancing, they start singing. Oh my god, that rhymed. And they start spilling beer everywhere. Everywhere smells like we are in a Heineken bottle. And they start yelling at the passengers, including the conductor. And I was like, I'm out of here. So I find another place to sit, and they're like, "Oh, ma'am, yeah, please pass, ma'am." I'm like, "Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you." So then, whatever, and I have to change trains, and I get on the next train, and unfortunately, that train is just a single wagon. There is no running away, unlike from the previous one, because I could run away from those men. And now I get on the second one with the single car one, and I'm trying to sleep because at this point it is 1 o'clock. It is 1 o'clock. I was just at work. I went to a concert. I've been traveling. I'm exhausted, And I'm like, oh, let me just nap. Because we have like, another, like if it's 12:31, we have another hour to go. So I'll just quickly nap. And on the next stop, because it was an intercity one and it would stop every 3 minutes, a group, like my biggest fear in life enters the train. A group of teenage boys who have been drinking. And I was like, Jesus help me. Jesus help me. They start yelling. They have a speaker with themselves. They're blasting music. And I mean, like, it wasn't that loud at the concert. They're yelling the lyrics. They're not even singing, they're yelling the lyrics. And nobody dares say anything. In Bulgaria, you get beat up for less. And I was just, the only thing that kept me going was the image in my mind of me going there, taking their phones and smashing them in the ground and giving them a slap. Because, like, what the fuck was this, bro? Like, why are you so fucking inconsiderate? Why? Why? Like, don't get me wrong. Talk to your friends, have fun, but be considerate that you're not the only one in the train, you know? You know? And that's why I honestly had forgotten what it's like to travel in the Netherlands with a train on weekends. But this is what it's like. It's either during the day, families with children who shit themselves every 3 minutes, and your skin by association soaks in the shit smell, or in the evening, it is shit faced men and boys. Actually, those are not men, boys who never grew up, just became older. And it's like, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ? Jesus Christ? Like, did I deserve this after having so much fun? And I want to anger cry. I'm on the verge of yelling because don't forget it. I am Balkan. And like I mentioned, where I come from, you get beaten up for less. You get beaten up because you're crying, because they're like, I will give you a reason to cry because you're crying without a reason. So I will beat you up so that at least I know why you're crying. That's the type of mentality of my people. I'm not saying it's healthy. I'm not saying it's very mental health appropriate and mental health caring. But hey, have you seen me? Have you ever seen me disrupt people's peace like this? No. I'm not saying beat up your children. I am so not saying violence is the answer. But like, I really wanted to hit them. I didn't, and that's the difference between me and men. Um, anyways, oh Jesus Christ, I feel like today like saying such cancelable stuff, but I feel like the girls that get it, and the boys that are offended by it, maybe take a look in the mirror and reflect. Why are you offended by this? Because if I'm saying this and a man is listening and he's not offended, that's a man. But if you're offended by this, why does it offend you? Why does it resonate to a point where you feel offended? Did I strike a chord? Did I hit a nerve? Did I hit the nail on the head? Did I just describe a perfect picture of you? Maybe reflect. Maybe reflect. So I get off the train and I'm just under my nose, Majka Testaga, Majka Testaga, Majka Testaga, which means your mom's old. Yes. Bulgarian swear words, Bulgarian swear expressions are very misogynistic. I recognize this. Yeah. Yeah. So because at this point we arrive at 2 a.m. at the train station, a little bit after 2. So at this point, there is no public transport, which means I have to walk for 45 minutes to my place in the middle of the night, which is fine. Like, it shouldn't be a problem, you know? Like, I shouldn't have to be scared to walk at night by myself, right? Right? So I start walking, and I'm so incredibly overstimulated. I'm so pissed at the existence of everyone and everything who isn't me. I'm actually also pissed at my existence. So I just like, if you just looked at me the wrong way, I would have yelled at you. And then I am walking and I'm walking fast because, like, I've got places to be, those places being bed. And I'm walking, 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 walking. And this drunk out of his mind, fuck ass guy approaches me. And if this is my face, he comes up here. Like, well, not here, but like here. Like super close. And just starts screaming bloody murder. Screaming. So at this point, that's 2:30. Screaming. And I'm just terrified. So I'm like, what is going on? And I just scream in his face. No, I don't scream. I just I just say, Majka Stara. Like I said, it means your mom's old. I didn't dare necessarily yell at him because I was like, he's going to hurt me. And then I walk and he's not saying any words. He just comes in my face and starts screaming. And then comes to my face, is what I meant to say. Then I walk for 5 more minutes and I reach the city center. And then the exact same scenario repeats itself with a different man. He comes up to me and starts screaming in my face, yelling, not words, just like, I don't want you to see my mouth when I do this, because like I don't trust the internet. Yelling, and I'm just like, what have I done? What have I done to deserve this? What have I done to deserve this? Why? Like, what are the chances that this is going to happen twice in the same night? Apparently, high enough. And that's why I want to buy, pepper spray is not legal here, but maybe like a small deodorant, like a pocket deodorant, or like a paint to spray. Because like I'm not confronting them because I want to protect myself, but I shouldn't have to be put in a position where I should be protecting myself in the first place. And then I started thinking, and I'll make it short. When we say to women, get home safe, that's fine. Okay. But why don't we take the same energy towards men? And when we part ways, tell them Don't rape anyone today. Get home without harassing anyone. Get home without making anyone fear for their life. Why do we only, by saying to women, get home safe, we are putting the control in their hands, and we're saying that it is up to them, up to women, to get home safe. Instead, we should be targeting, and I'm not saying that it's always men, but in my case, it has always been men. Why do we not say to men, don't put anyone in danger tonight? Because if we raised men to not even think about the concept of harassing someone, then women would never even have to protect themselves because there would be no one to have to protect yourself from. By saying to women, get home safe, you're saying that it is their responsibility to protect themselves. Whereas in reality, it is the responsibility of the harasser to not harass. And welcome to my TED Talk. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk, I guess. Because what a misogynistic thing to say. What a misogynistic thing to say. And it shouldn't be on me to ensure my security. Walking home at night shouldn't be something to fear. Walking home at night alone shouldn't be something that I always need to hold my phone in my hand for and share my location with my friends and be like, I am walking past this. I'll be home in like a few minutes. Please track my location while I get home, even though it's 4 a.m. and you should be sleeping too. The the disproportion, it's so disproportionate. Like, of why are we putting the responsibility of the, for a lack of a better word, victim to protect itself instead of teaching the perpetrator to not create victims? I'll just leave you with that. I'll just leave you with this food for thought. Yeah, today's episode has been a bit weird, like I told you. Interesting topics and incoherent and not related, but who cares? That's my space. I created it. I literally created it. With that being said, thank you so much for listening to today's episode, watching today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in the next one. But until then, stay hydrated, wear sunscreen, and don't support genocide. Bye. And don't harass anyone when you're going home late at night, or actually anyone ever. Thank you.